Yeah, I know I got problems, and I don't know where to go.
Hey, what's up traders? Brian Horton with BK Trading Academy. We're going to look at gold USD, and I want to give you my perspective, a couple of perspectives. So I'm hoping when you see this video, it's not too late. It's actually Sunday, late night. And there's a couple things that I want to show you in my perspective for gold USD. So first, we're going to start off on the weekly time frame. I have a 50 moving average here. We can see that we're clearly in an uptrend. And guess what, guys? If you've seen my last few gold analysis, we've actually broke our previous three highs here. One back in August of 2020, another back in February of 2022. And then also after that, we were in April or May of 2023. And we clearly broke it with this wick here on the weekly time frame here, breaking it, and it came back to retest these highs. So this is a very strong resistance area, and it finally broke. Now, I do believe eventually price is going to break this again, come back and retest this as support and continue higher, but it's all a fact of when is that going to happen. So before we get into that, let's analyze what's going to happen in the near future, or give you a couple of perspectives. So one, I'm on the weekly time frame. We're making higher highs and higher lows here. So we have our clear uptrend, came back, retested this here. So that trend was broken, and now we are back in our uptrend here clearly. So let's go ahead to the daily time frame and let's see what's going on. We want to look at candle anatomy. We want to look at the anatomy of the candle to see exactly what's going on. So now we can clearly see that we're making our higher highs and our higher lows. These are the ingredients of an uptrend: higher highs, higher low right here. It wicked here aggressively. Here is our high or our peak here. Now, what's going to happen? So I'm going to show you the commitment of traders. The commitment of traders is where the big banks, the institutions, those who actually move the market, their contracts, and what are they doing with gold. And that is exactly what we want to do with gold, because they're the ones who actually move this market. These candles here are from them. So that being said here, we want to follow in their footsteps instead of going against them. So before we go to the commitment of traders here and see what they're doing, we're going to look at this in a technical sense. We want to look at price action, technical analysis, and see what we can do. So we clearly have the 50 MA, and you typically want to wait for price to come to the 50 MA, and it will be a good idea, at least intraday, maybe a day or two of swing trading, to buy off of that 50 MA. So that tells me right now price isn't ripe to buy. So we can see right here when price came to this 50 MA, it shot to the upside, and now it's starting to pull back here. Same thing here. Price didn't quite touch it, but you can see as price gets to the 50 MA is a good time to buy. Now, let me show you why I think that price may be headed to the downside starting Monday morning. So let's go to the commitment of traders right here. I'm looking at gold metal here, and I'm looking at the detailed report. So we want to look at the trend here. So we can see that November 7th of 2023, the big banks had over 166,000 contracts for a buy. And then they decreased it November 14th. So price started to pull back. And then they started increasing their longs week after week after week. And that is why we see this rise here since October and November. And now what we see here on December 12th, the big banks and institutions dropped their contracts to 188,233 contracts. So December 5th, they bought 203,544. You can see how it climbed, but now they decreased it. So what do you think is going to happen? Price is going to start to pull back. So they're exiting their long positions. And I can almost certain say that price should pull back at least to the 50 MA, but we'll see. We're going to take this day to day. We're looking at the daily time frame. Let's look at the summary report of gold. Now, this here is saying the net change, meaning from their exits and their buys, they have actually negative 15,311. That simply means that they've exited at least 15,311 contracts to the downside. So when you're exiting long positions, that causes price to come down. So we can break this down here. So let's look at our long positions here. They have 273,000 contracts here. The change from the previous week is that they exited 15,304 contracts, and they only added 7 buys. That tells you right there that they're interested in selling, not even interested, that they've actually sold contracts. So if they're selling contracts, I want to sell contracts too. Now back to technical analysis. So you want to do pretty much what the big banks are doing, because that's what the market is going to respond to. Now we're going to go down to the lower time frame, let's say the 4-hour time frame. And I'm going to clean this chart up here, and we want to look at it in a technical perspective here. We can see that the 50 MA is resting right here on this candle here. And so one thing that could happen. So I'm going to draw this here. This is where prices tend to consolidate for the last 4 hours. Price started to break further. We may see some consolidation here a bit, and I believe price may come back down and retest this low here from where around 1978 or so, maybe even go even further to the downside, depending on how many more contracts they're going to be exiting for gold. And if price comes down to around 1973, 1976, anywhere between that zone here, this may be listed as a support zone. So I could see something like this here as price comes down, and then we can see price start to reject off of support and head to the upside. I can also pull up here my Fibonacci tracement tool here from this initial impulse move to this peak here, and we can see where price is currently at the 382 zone here, and I believe price may even come down to the 618, maybe even the 786 zone, and it may even come back all the way down to this 100% zone here. So that's on the 4-hour time frame here. We want to keep our eye on the big picture. The big picture tells us the story here overall, and we want to typically get in at the best possible price. So overall, I do believe that price is going to come back down to the 50 MA here on the daily time frame, and it's going to continue to drop just a bit, retesting this 1979 zone here, and may even go further. But that's when the commitment of traders come into place. We want to look at this week by week overall. We can see that this net change here on the detailed report gives us a breakdown as price starts to drop here. Now we know that the commitment of traders report come out every Tuesday to the government, the US government, and then we have it as the public every Friday. So we get this on Friday, although it's released every Tuesday to the government from the big banks and institutions. So guys, that being said, let me know what do you think about this in the comment section. If you need your handheld and mentorship, look in the description below. We are an academy here with Forex. We teach you step by step how to trade with our guidance here, and we're always available to you on a one-on-one basis or in a group basis 24/7 in our private community, along with like-minded traders like you guys. So I can't wait to see you in the inside. Let me know in the comments if this makes sense and if you like this gold analysis, and let me know what other pairs are you interested in. We'll maybe drop an analysis this week about it. In the meantime, guys, enjoy your holiday month, and I will see you in the next video. God bless.
So act like I'm okay.